It is a historic event in the education calendar. Delivery of textbooks of course subjects to all learners in public and private primary and secondary schools. The move will ensure the country achieves the one book per learner ratio. The decision was not welcomed by some education stakeholders, but the initiative has saved billions of taxpayers' money.
And I think it's time for all of us, genuinely, to say that this desire, willingness to normalcy, that it is right to do the wrong thing, has to change, my friends. And I want to be very clear from the very onset of this year that we and the changes that I am proposing to make are going to come down extremely hard on individuals and people who think that they can continue to abuse the system for their own personal gain at the expense of the nation.
Education CS Fred Matiang'i says the government reached the decision of distributing textbooks to learners when they realized that most of them lacked the essential books, despite the government releasing funds for purchase of the same. This placed a majority of learners at a disadvantaged position.
This is just the beginning. We are achieving something many countries in the world have not. A 1-to-1 book-pupil ratio across the country. That's just the beginning. Let us now move forward with this resolve and do many things for our country.
We have been, and parents have been raising issues. When you go to schools, there is no money in the bank accounts, and yet there are no books in schools. And so this will go a long way in making sure that parents do not pay for extra monies. And it will also go a long way in improving the quality of education that we have, because really when children do not have books, textbooks to rely on and so on and so forth. So I think this is life-changing for many children and many parents.
The government plans to digitize secondary school textbooks to enable learners access them in soft copy.
With KICD, we now have a cloud, which is an educational cloud, where already with the digital literacy program, we put in the content, all the books that will be there for standard 1 to 3. And that will continue to happen as the curriculum is reformed.
Uhuru requested publishers to ensure that learners in private and faith-based schools also buy the textbooks at the price offered to the government. Nelson Mandela said education is the most powerful weapon that anyone can use to change the world. But what if that education is not equalized? Then achieving a transformed society for the better is difficult. But once every child in Kenya can access a textbook, right then change begins. Over the last 5 years, there have been significant reforms in the education sector. From the waiver of examination fees for all learners in primary and secondary schools, integration of ICT in teaching and learning like the digital literacy program and computers for secondary schools, curriculum reforms and free secondary education. Sharon, Barang'a, NTV.